How's it going, man? Thank you
It's
for
going
having me.
great.
It's
Guys,
awesome to be here.
we have the Ballietbran in the building today. Man, I've been wanting to do this for so long. So freaking long, man. It's so good to have you here. So for the people, I mean, I guarantee you everybody on my channel knows who you are. But go ahead and introduce yourself if you will for everybody.
Yeah, of course. And once again, thank you for doing the streaming as well. I think it's awesome for everyone and anyone to come on board and kind of share some of their perspectives and learnings and stuff. But I've been following Richard since about March 15, 2017, almost 5 years now this March. But anyways, big fan of what he, talks about, what he wants to do, not only just with, financial aspects, but with other aspects too. And so I got into Hex early, had followed him since it was called Bitcoin Hex, and participated in the adoption amplifier and all these other things. And
Mm,
anyways, as far as his other two projects, PulseChain and PulseX, I'm a big fan of those as well. And everything about it, just a fanatic member of the community, and really like everything that's going on.
yeah, definitely, bro. Me too. My cousin actually got me into the community. I was in all these bad cryptocurrencies, and then like he basically convinced me to get on board with Hex, and I still didn't know anything about it, so I was just like holding it liquid for a little bit, and then like as I started learning more, man, like, and then I started listening to Richard and all this other kind of stuff. It kind of just like a light bulb goes off, and then another one goes off, then another one goes off, and because I've only been a part of the community since July, like not even close to a year yet. But I was like,
Mhm.
man, I'm trying to get on this content creating stuff and just try to get the
Mhm.
word out there. So I guess you kind of already covered it, but I mean, I just want to hear like how'd you get into Hex?
Mhm. So yeah, so I mean, I guess how I got into Hex initially was just like, how I'd kind of found Richard, and how I'd kind of found out about him. So initially, like, when was this? Maybe 2016, 2017. I had started getting interested in investing. Someone that I was working with at the time at CenturyLink, yeah, I was working at the place in Bellevue, Washington, and
uh,
we were selling fiber to the people that could qualify for it, right? Because the infrastructure is different from the copper versus the fiber. But so the
right.
guy, the two guys that I was working with had pretty good relationships with them, and just chatting with them the whole time while you're waiting to do sales and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
anyways, so one of them always had on, like, the I forget what channel it was. I don't really watch television, but some sort of
Mm-hmm.
investing channel. And he was talking about silver and gold. And so, long story short, I'd gotten into a little bit of the precious metals and stuff. And then I don't even know how I stumbled across it, but maybe it was the television or something that was mentioning cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and stuff. And so I go on to Reddit, and because I was, pretty big into Reddit back in the day. And long story short, hear about, the first cryptos that I got in, which was Bitcoin and Litecoin. And then after a while, because Richard was like a Bitcoin maximalist at the time, and how I found out about him was someone was, talking bad about him. They were insulting him without him being able to defend himself on Reddit, because he was
Mm.
a Bitcoin maxi and stuff. So I said, hey, I didn't realize there was such a big influencer space on YouTube. Let me try and learn from people. So I followed Richard and a handful of other people, and Richard was always just someone that I could just connect with right away, and I could just tell that he was genuine, and he didn't have a hidden motivation. And so I'd always just been following him, and his first videos were all self help. But then
Mm.
when he had talked about, hey, this space can be kind of fixed for the better, and I can do something better than what the space is currently offering, I really had my ears perk up, because everything else in the crypto space were all promise coins. And,
Yeah.
maybe 9 or 10 months later of us hearing the 4 more weeks meme of Hex being developed and
Mm.
launched was when it had launched. So participated in that, and then everything else. It's been one hell of a journey.
Yeah, I bet, man. Like I say, I got into Hex just in July. I got in at 7 cents. And,
Thank
I
you.
totally get when people are like, they don't want to talk about their financial stuff because, man, like some people got a lot of money and they don't, you don't want to talk about it. But myself personally, I'm good with it because I don't have a lot. So it's not like I'm like, out here just saying, oh, I'm a millionaire. No, I have 30K Hex right now. I have, a
Right.
15-year stake, a 10-year stake, and all this stuff. But the thing is, the reason I'm bringing this up is because T-shares, man. I only have two of them, but when you have that long-term like mentality about like, let's say I'm gonna get like, let's just say it's 5 per day, right? Or double that. So I have two T-shares, and then for 15 years, 10 hex a day. So what if when hex is $1,000 and if like let's just say I don't know how many every years, that's gonna be like 10 grand a day until those stakes end, like if the price is that. So long-term thinking, we're
Mhm.
early like as hell here right
Oh
now.
yeah.
And even though right now I'm a crab, and even though I'm only sitting at like 7K, and even though I still got to work, it's fine because we have that delayed gratification long-term mentality. So the
True.
t-shirt, bro, I was actually at the fair, and it literally just like a light bulb just went off in my head, and then the t-shirt thing like just kind of just I just kind of understood it like just like that, and it was crazy. It was
It's
crazy.
true. Well, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, it's one of those things that, especially a lot of us towards the beginning, we really didn't understand, to be honest. And I can only speak for myself, obviously, but I know people like RG3 and a handful of other people. Uh, I mean, Richard had always talked about, hey, longer pays better, bigger pays better, etc.
Mhm.
And he had talked about what would be the most optimal, game theory to maximize your principal that you had. And so the point is that I didn't realize until, I don't know, maybe until 6 months in, something like that, that what you wanted to do was, as you mentioned, the T shares are super early, but what I wanted to do was not have it front loaded like I did, but have those those shares that were very cheap at the time, pushed out into the future. And
Mhm.
so it takes a little while to grasp, I'll be honest, because I mean, with Hex specifically, it's something as simple as you want to make it, as far as
Yeah.
receiving inflation for being a staker and etc. But it's also as
Right.
complex as you want to make it too, because with the way that the T shares kind of constantly are going up and things like
Yeah.
this, it provides for a unique experience.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to think about and just dream or whatever, but I the dreams are going to come true, man. No financial
Oh
advice, but
yeah,
they're going to come true.
it's
Yeah,
true.
so I wanted to share this real quick. Here, let me see how to do this. Cuz this is the next topic that I wanted to bring up. Oh my gosh, I love it. So, put this background on, pull up this like that. You were in
Oh
this music
yeah.
video. All right. And dude, I think it is awesome, right? Like I think it's crazy like being in a music video or whatever. So, here you are, man. There you go. Pop pop. So, yeah, tell me a little bit about that, man. Like how was it? How did you get in touch with them? Like did they ask you and you just like flew out there and you're in a video or what? Kind of.
Anyways,
Oh,
so
okay.
to answer the question, that was in Seattle, and the people, the Crypto Sparbuch people, and the Freedom, the Freedom TV.info people, they're traveling over all of the, not all, but many of the states in America and many of the popular cities, and they're just doing these hex conferences, educating people to to Staker app, to Pulse Chain, to PulseX, etc. And I think it was September 9th, something like that,
Mm,
2021, that they were in, or maybe it was October, but that they were in Seattle, and it ended
yeah.
up being like a 10-minute walk, literally, from where my girlfriend's apartment is. So I just walked over there 10 minutes before, and long story short, they had a meeting before, which was when that music video was, and then the second day was like the main event where you could bring your friends and family and get them educated into hacks and crypto.
Oh, that's
But they
cool.
said they wanted to do a music video, and so we went up to, we were in downtown Seattle and went up to one of the parking garages and just drove up to the very top, and it happened to be like a perfect backdrop and things like that for doing a
Mhm.
little video. And it's awesome because with what the Hex community is doing, and people that are following Richard and participating, Richard's not funding any of this, and these are all being funded by Hexicans that have had gains and things like
Hexicans, yep.
this. And the cool thing is there was like the team that they have with them. It's like Rob and a couple other guys. They got like a really good professional like camera, professional cameras and like professional like film crew that did the video editing of that music video. So I'm not too, even though I talk a lot on streams and stuff, I'm not too outgoing when it comes to real life and like dancing and stuff. So
Right.
I was able to do a little shimmy
Oh
and
man. Oh, that's
able
funny.
to not embarrass myself too much.
So
Anyways,
tell me, is it still echoing or no? I reshared it with no system audio.
no, it's good now. Yeah, it's
Okay,
totally
sweet.
good now. Perfect.
See, I thought it was just gonna share like it shared the audio for everything. Like that was crazy. Anyways, and also, dude, when this music video came out, like I noticed a lot of people here now that I didn't know before.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
isn't that Sparbuck or whatever?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that? Crypto.
So it's almost like crypto. It's almost like crypto Sparbuch, where like it's like BUH almost. Like people say Sparbuck and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced like crypto Sparbuch. So like
Okay, I
the
got
way
you.
that the K and stuff, it's not really kind of like Spanish with like jalapeno. You
Mhm.
don't say jalapeno. But
Right.
anyways, those guys. So yeah, that guy was Patrick, and then the other guy right behind, right behind the guy's shoulder is Alan. So one of them is German, one of them is Austrian, and they actually got the idea to travel across the U.S. from the Hex Vegas conference that we had in June, and they were really inspired by like coming to America and meeting a lot of the American Hexicans, and they said, "Oh, we want to travel across the states in the
Mhm.
popular cities and just meet all of the people." And then so I ended up getting like funded and kind of extra support by a couple other people, Staker App and Discourse Syndicate and things like that. So it turned into something that they didn't even imagine would happen, but that's kind of what Hexicans do, and now it's the maximum opportunity.
Yeah. Um definitely. Let's see. So, yes. So, you actually already brought it up just then what you said.
Mhm.
So, you were in the Vegas at the first one, right?
Yeah,
The
for
in
sure.
person. Dude, I saw RG3 on a tank, I think. In a video. I
Yeah.
don't know when that
Yep,
was,
yep.
but yeah.
No, that's true.
So, what, cuz it wasn't recorded, was it?
Which part wasn't recorded?
The was the like the Vegas conference, like the conference in general.
No, so yeah, there was a handful of it that was. I mean, I know they had this like this place called like the Cat's Meow, I think, which was like the karaoke bar, and
Mm,
they weren't really able to hear Richard. Richard had kind of like broadcasted to them and vice versa. Anyways, not all of it was recorded. I will say that Funding Jim, Gary, and Big Kurkowski, Jeff, they had both funded, once again, professional filmmakers and photography people to pretty much document, I mean, a whole bunch of the people that were there and some of our stories. And he said that the only reason that that information, that those videos haven't been shared yet is because, some of the content might be used in the Highest of Stakes documentary. And
right.
they want to let them kind of have the free reign on the content before publishing what they have. So thought that was
Yeah.
awesome.
So what was the experience like for the first conference? Because I didn't even know about it yet. Like
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
I'm new. So
true.
like what was the experience like going to Vegas and hanging out with all those guys?
So it was great, man. Even though I live in the States and the only other country I've been to is just Mexico, I've been to a handful of the states, definitely not all of them. That was my
Mm,
first time going to Vegas, and it was awesome. I mean, I can be pretty susceptible to partying with the crowd and stuff, so I was trying to hold back as much as possible, and obviously, kind of just set expectations from the beginning of what I wanted to get out of it, which was to meet a lot of the people there. And
mm-hmm,
so as far as the experience, it was great.
mm-hmm.
Once I had flown into to Vegas, took the airport to the hotel, and then the hotel that I was at, one of the Hexicans, Casey, he's actually the one that supplied all of these hats. So he had spent, I know it was at least a couple grand of his own money that he just donated, to make these hats. But it says LV 2021, and then it's got this little hex thing. He knew someone that had like embroidery, and they did some hex hats. But
That's
anyways, it was good. It's awesome to interact with people, as you mentioned, kind of on the streams and things like that. But in person, it's just a totally different energy, because obviously it's there physically, and it's awesome. Everyone was just as genuine and unique as they are behind the camera too.
So how many people were at the first one?
So there was 331 people, and
Okay.
I think so in a couple of months it's going to be March 6th through the 9th, 369. I think it was initially 1,369 tickets that they were going to sell.
Yeah.
But then something like I think Maddie had mentioned most recently on one of his streams that the little convention that we're at, I think has a max of like 600 people, something like that. So it's probably going to be roughly double this year.
Yeah, at the Excalibur. That's dude. Okay, so the great thing is I've got my ticket. I'm coming, 100%.
Nice, dude.
And
nice.
Are you gonna be there?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Oh yeah.
I
Great.
didn't realize until just like the other day that they weren't doing what they did last time, as far as they had certain hotels, like there was like the Aria, Bellagio, and then I think one other that they kind of had little discounts to. I didn't realize that they weren't doing that this year. I think they're kind of being mindful of people's security and privacy, something like that. So I still have yet to book my hotel, but I'm going to be doing it probably today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I just booked one at the Excalibur. I'm like,
Nice, dude. Nice.
I was like, because the guy's like, man, because if I get a little too much drinks in me, I just walk to my room. I'm good. But yeah, man, I am so hyped because, like I said, man, you're like the first person I've actually like spoken to, like that's big, in the Hex community, which is awesome. And whenever like we go there, I'm be able to meet everybody pretty much, so I'm just so excited, man. I can't even explain it. Have you gone to any of the US road trip places that have been?
No. So they I mean, no. They had asked like, hey, are you gonna go? Because they had the one in Seattle, which was super close to me, and then I think the next one, which was in Spokane, Washington, which is about like I don't know, maybe a 4 to 6 hour drive for me. I had wanted to, and honestly, probably sometime after I had mentioned either before or after Vegas, I want to drive over to like California and say what's up to a lot of the Hexicans over there, because I just know that there's so many. RG3 and Crypto Kool-Aid and Casey, the one that did the hats, and a whole bunch of people, Crypto Vince and stuff. But
Crypto Vince.
Man,
I'm going to the one in Dallas on the 28th. Like
oh cool, man.
Yeah, like I said, my cousin got me into it, and like we're both gonna go down there, but it's just gonna be me going to Vegas. But hey, that's fine, man. That's fine, because like I'm pretty much extroverted in the crowd, so it'll be fun to go and hang out, because it might be a party vibe. I don't know, So there's gonna be
totally. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, man. I mean, Kareem kind of talks about it a lot, but like work hard, play hard type of deal, and it's awesome. I mean, the first year was really fun. We had gone to a lot of different places on the old strip and then the new strip and things like this. But it's so much more unique once again. Going to these conferences and things like this, because there's just something different about the Hex community, where even the other day I did an interview with Jeff with Crypto Kindness, and we were talking on the phone for an hour and 15 minutes. But it's almost like the person as if like they're like your friend or things like that you've like had a long-term conversation or friendship for a very long time, even though we hadn't. So it's really awesome. It's really organic, and I like meeting all the people.
Dude, organic is the best. It's awesome. It's awesome. Just be able to vibe with somebody, like instantly, pretty much.
So true.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. And the weather's not going to be as bad. Like, dude, last year, holy shnikes, man. I can get pretty hot pretty quickly and stuff. And
Mhm.
it was in June, and like the first day I think was like 103 degrees.
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
oh, dude, like this isn't fun, man. Like I'm trying to get ice water and everyone's trying to serve me alcohol, and it's like, let me just get some hydration before I, die of dehydration.
Nah,
But
you just need
anyways,
more
this
shots.
year,
It'll
I
fix
know,
it. More
right?
shots.
But this year it'll be better as far as
Yeah.
in March versus June, because that's the
Hmm.
absolute peak of the heat. So
Right. Yeah, I actually got this hoodie. It's coming in the mail right now. I designed it myself. It like has like my ad, and then it has like it says
awesome, man.
Hex 40% average APY. I mean 38 whatever 40%.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it has Pulse Chain, and then it has PulseX, and it kind of gives like a breakdown like on the back of the shirt, and then on the front it just has like all three logos, and then it says delayed
yeah,
gratification underneath it. So man,
yeah.
it's gonna be cool. Um, did you get that jacket that you have at
Oh yeah.
hexmerch.com, or was it at CryptoWares?
It was the one that's like black, or the one that's like gray and brown, right?
Yes.
Or like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yeah. That was just crypto wares. I'll be honest, I haven't purchased anything from hexmerch.com.
Mm.
I actually did purchase about 5 different, clothes of apparel, just t-shirts of let's see, some pulse chain stuff, and I don't think any hex stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
anyways, that was cryptowares.xyz, I believe is their little thing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, they're shipping, I believe, from China, so it was a lot longer of a shipping than I was initially expecting. I think it was maybe
Mm-hmm.
like a month, something like that. I had kind of forgotten about it, to be honest.
Then it showed
But when
up.
it came in, so I've ordered from them twice. The first time it was this like, really colorful, almost like a rainbow type of deal with the pulse chain and the hex colors, and that was really awesome. And I said, oh man, this is like really good quality that I'm not used to with, say, Amazon or other stuff. And then that's when I bought the other one. But I like wearing the merch. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
an easy way to have people, because I mean, most people, they're so generic, dude. Like, oh, Nike or Jordan or whatever freaking brand. And for me, it's like, oh, okay, people, they're not used to seeing the hex or the pulse chain. They wonder like, oh, what the hell is this pulse chain thing right here? So it's kind of a good conversation
Mm-hmm.
starter, I've
Yeah,
experienced.
for sure. I mean, get the conversation started. Like I saw that guy on the conference that he like had like a 5555 tattoo and like a hex
Oh
thing right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that'll definitely get a conversation going. So, also, how was it to be a part of the Hex conference, the online one this year?
It was awesome, man. It was really cool, and I had participated in the one the year before, and that was kind of like a little solo, kind of like a monologue of what I'm used to doing.
Hmm.
And this year, so that was about like a 6-minute monologue the year prior. But then this year, it was the very last one. It was a panel, and gotta say what's up to Richard for, I don't know, maybe like a minute before they had kind of switched panels, and
Yeah, I
that's
saw
always
that.
cool.
I watched all of it, bro.
What's that?
I said I watched all of it. I saw it all.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's awesome. I mean, and I tell you what, like, what other? I mean, I think Richard's not only like the best person in crypto, but in a lot
Hmm.
of other regards. But what other like billionaire do you see? Like, do you see Vitalik in these conferences with Ethereum people? Do you even see Ethereum conferences? Do you see Bezos or any of these other people that are super wealthy billionaires? Do you see them participating in the community like Richard does? The answer is no. And so, anyways, to answer your question, it was awesome. I had a really good time, and I didn't really. A whole bunch of people were like, "Bran, are you under hostage? Blink twice if if you're okay." And it's because, once again, the microphone. Someone had said my mic was a little bit too quiet, and I thought that it was actually like not quiet, but that it was like bad audio or something. So I was kind of like embarrassed or like nervous to even talk, but I didn't realize it was actually the mic itself. I just needed to bring it closer, because once again, I'm still getting used to the new mic setup and
Yeah.
manually adjusting the gain. So once I had
Yeah.
realized that was working, it was great. And the way that it ended with, the man with the golden mic, Diraj, kind of singing us off, I
Hmm.
thought that was really really awesome. And once again, it goes to show you how cool this community is, because I mean, none of us are getting paid. The sticker guy, he's the one that put in all of the time in the green room to, before we all went on to the main stream,
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many people watching, you have like a preliminary, green room that you go into first, a little StreamYard thing to make
Yeah.
sure your audio and things like that are good. So
Right.
shout out
Right.
to those guys for all the work they put in.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, man. So like I don't know when it was, a few months ago or whatever, when that big like Mercy in stake happened and like the payout or
Yeah.
whatever was like
Yeah.
high. I never knew what happened until the conference. I saw
Oh
that,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw that older guy talking about it, and dude, what he said, bro, like hit me, bro. He said, I went from having nothing to sudden wealth back to having nothing. And I was like, oh my
Right.
God, bro. Like that would be awful. That
Mm.
would be awful. And
Yeah,
like
dude.
a lot of people just don't, it's not that I don't know. They just don't have good security or
Mhm.
they just don't do things good with security, and that's why it's important. Oh man, like it's just security. Like I only have everything in like Staker app, and so it's just on my phone. Technically, but I don't know of any other way. Like Staker app wise, I mean, it's just on my phone, so I don't know. Is there any like other security things I can even really do since it's backed by Gnosis and stuff? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the only thing I would say is, I mean, obviously you get that 24 word seed phrase
Mm-hmm.
that's generated when you're setting up that Gnosis safe wallet. And I mean, so many people, they've just got like, oh, and check this out too. I got this little hex pen from the Seattle conference.
Oh, that's cool.
Black Crypto. She just gave it to me, which was cool, and I got some stickers and stuff. But most people, they just have it written down, on pen and paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's at least obviously a very, first step that I would be doing is you don't want any digital backups on your phone of that 24 word or the 12 word seed phrase, because
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
exactly what happened to Hex 19. I know
Mm-hmm.
that you can graduate to, I actually got it. Let me grab it real quick here.
All right.
Just for example, just because it took 2 seconds to grab. So this is something Papa B had recommended. It's pure titanium, and it's something that would survive a fire, right? So what you can do is you can either stamp like with a hammer and stamp set type of deal. You can stamp the 24 word seed phrase, or you can do what a lot of people have done, which is just like a little engraver, and you can put the 24 words or 12 words here as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've seen people do as like a next step. But either way, as long as people aren't sharing it with anyone, people that ever help you with your crypto that say they need your seed phrase are absolute scammers, and that's something that they try and prey on people that are
Yeah.
just ignorant.
Yeah.
But that's all I would say. I mean, you've got the Gnosis Safe, which is what Vitalik uses, and I think I think that there's a lot of cool things that you can do with that maybe you can't do with other wallets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much all I would say.
Yeah, definitely, man. I have my stuff. It could get burned out. I have it in my firebox, but if it burnt, it's, I guess anything could happen. So that'd be a really good
Right.
idea just to get done. You know. Oh yeah. I was gonna show you this too. Not that it was really important, but it was just kind of interesting. How do we do that? There we go. With this, I like it clicked for me, right? I was like, who is this? And then I realized that she was also in this, and that's who
Yep.
that
Yep.
is, So
Yeah.
everything like in the community kind of just started like clicking together, and like I started learning who more people are and stuff. And
Mm. It's a big community. Yeah.
dude, it's huge. Like I'm still learning about OGs. It's crazy. And then with all the new people, it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm new, so like I'm part of that, but it's like how like there's just so many, which is a good thing, but it's just a lot,
Mhm.
you know.
Well, and like, some people they have this fallacy or this illogical logic, I guess, in their head where they think that like, oh, Hex has already gone up 10,000x, and it's actually gone up more, right? Because if you cherry pick and then consider staking, it would have been a lot more, probably
Mm-hmm.
15,000x. But anyway, so you have people that are saying like, oh, it already did 10,000x. Why do I think it can go any higher? And then, as we just talked about just now with the community and something like Metcalfe's law, where it's like, okay, just having one fax machine is kind of like null and like pointless. But if you have, I don't know, 100, 1,000, 10,000, well, then now it's got a network that can really synergize together. So
Mm-hmm.
with the way that we're growing in Hex and PulseChain and PulseX, they're all kind of like almost like an osmosis type of deal, or reverse osmosis, where like they eventually like kind of even out. Because like right now, dude, Pulse Chain Calm, just the Pulse Chain Telegram is
Yeah.
kicking Hex's booty, as
Mm-hmm.
far as how long it's been around and how many people are in it. So
Yeah.
I think with more people hearing about it and then eventually hearing about Hex and PulseX and things like that, it's
Mm-hmm.
really just going to make this parabola start to kick off. And when people don't really realize is that Hex is designed to do what Bitcoin has done, and then more. Be the ultimate store of value. And then
Yeah.
so Bitcoin's already done 6.9 million x from a penny. It's done more once again, but it's done 6.9 million x from a penny, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well maybe 10,000x is actually really early, but people are just so spoiled because we're in crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, because like whenever I was doing that comparison from Bitcoin to Hex, like it's so early. It's so early. I understand people are retired. That's great. I understand that people are millionaires. That is awesome. But guess what? You can be too. You can
Yep.
start right now, and you don't even have to invest your whole life savings, man. Like what will and can be in the future is insane. And on that topic of like the scam and stuff, yeah, man, I joined the Pulse Chain. I'm in all the telegrams, the legit ones, and there are so many scammers in the legit ones too that message you as soon as you join it, trying to get trying to talk to you and get information, ask if you need help and all this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And so it's just really important to know that people probably are not going to message you asking you things. So yeah, dude, security is
It's so
definitely a
true.
big one. But yeah, dude, that parabola, I mean, it's just gonna keep going and going and going because so the issue right now obviously is gas fees and Ethereum.
Mm.
It's just, I mean, just
Totally.
fucking us. It's
It's so
awful.
true, dude.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get my friends and family into Hex. I can't because they're not rich. They work
Right.
paycheck to paycheck. So maybe
Totally.
they save up and want to put $100 in it. They can't because it's going to cost
Mm.
them $100 or more. Oh, actually more to
Yeah.
to buy and send the USDC, or let's just say USDC to their wallet, and then swapping it for Hex. It's ridiculous. It's so much money. So the fact that Richard is making Pulse Chain and Pulse X, it's a game changer. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
game changer, man.
Well, like you're so right. I mean, you can go to etherscan.io/gas tracker, and it'll just tell you what the current gas prices and costs
Mm-hmm.
are. And you mentioned that there's such a barrier to entry, and even the people that I onboarded, because there was a Uniswap airdrop for those that had used it before a certain period. So my wallet was already looking really good at that time. Maybe my first 100x. And so I said, oh, okay, these X amount of airdrops that I was able to claim,
100x.
let me just, yeah, I know, right? Let me just hook up the family and the girlfriend and the pops and the mom. And so,
Yeah.
anyways, but, we're ending a couple of their stakes that were in the ladder I had set up for them.
Mm-hmm.
And man, like some of those fees, like the other day, it was like $600 to end one of the stakes. And, you look at it right now, the ERC20 transfer, it's $36.92 on average, which is what Hex is in ERC20.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the Uniswap swap. I mean, it's $113.59 based on the current GUI. And I think that something like Pulse Change is absolutely going to freaking take the market share of Ethereum. I mean, you look at, there's people that talk about things, and we see this a lot in life or in crypto. And then there's people that actually do the things that they talk about.
Yeah.
Someone like Richard kind of, he builds a lot of things and then he talks about it, which I think is cool. But
Mm-hmm.
so you can actually now with Pulse Chain Testnet, you can use the go.hex.com front end, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Staker app will have something very similar soon. But the point is that I went to go end a stake that was like 720 days. I had
Mm-hmm.
already ended on Ethereum, But I tell you what, it was 0.008 TPLS,
Hmm.
and so that's like pennies.
Nothing.
What
Yeah.
on Ethereum
Hmm.
was, I mean, at least $500 or $600. So it's
Yeah.
gonna at least save people's capital. And like you mentioned, you'll be able to onboard your friends, your family that are living paycheck to paycheck, that just want to
Hmm.
throw 25, 50, however much into it on a weekly basis. They'll be able to now.
Exactly, man, and that'll give the opportunity to grow exponentially, exponentially when it comes to mass adoption and virality, because the majority of people, I mean, obviously there are people that can afford it, but the majority of people can't, and so the barrier entry, like you said, is it's really, really, really tough with Ethereum right now, and also it's changing to proof of stake, which is great, because I was looking up how much just in like California, how much e-waste there was from mining and all that kind of stuff. And we're not talking about electricity. We're just talking about like just throwing away your GPUs and stuff and all this other kind of stuff. It's ridiculous and ungodly amount. Yeah, I think it was the
Mm.
size of a country how much e-waste they had or
Yeah.
something. It was just ridiculous, man. And so like Richard said, bringing over to Pulse Chain the people over too will hopefully lower down the gas fees as well.
Totally.
So hopefully they can kind of coincide and then bridge in your URC20s param and earn an incentive token, which would be cool. But I mean, I can't really do that because I don't have much. I only hold Hex. That's literally the only thing I hold, and I only have a little bit that's liquid right now. But the big thing is about that is the fact that you're getting a copy.
Mm.
That's gonna perk some people's ears up. Free money, pretty much. I mean, of course it starts at zero, but it's gonna go up and eventually be kind of
Oh
side by
yeah.
side. So the Pulse chain is just a great idea, and it's coming true. And like Richard was, or actually I was watching Maddie's stream a couple days ago. It was yesterday actually. Man, he was going off yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's talking about or maybe he wasn't talking about it in that stream. I don't know, but
Sure.
Richard, but he was saying something like, do you want a founder that's gonna tell you this date and then it doesn't come out by that date, or do you want him to tell you that he doesn't fully know the exact date, but there's progress being made and he's showing you the progress being made,
Mhm.
and he said, I don't want a founder that's going to lie to me, and Richard
Right.
hasn't been lying. He hasn't been, he's been telling the truth and doing, what he said he's going to do and trying to like make the world better by, donating to sins and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a really good thing that's going on, man.
Well, it's true, and I completely agree. I mean, the cool thing with what Richard's doing, once again, I mean, he's a serial winner, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
we call it like team win and stuff. But a lot of people don't really realize that. I mean, he's a Bitcoin OG, right? Got in 2011, was mining full 50 Bitcoin block rewards. So each time with his graphics, his GPU, he was getting 50 Bitcoin each time that he had completed one of the blocks. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, with PulseChain, man, it's doing everything that Ethereum 2.0 has talked about doing. And you look at some of the other forks of Ethereum, right? And I'm not gonna mention many, but just something like say just BSC or Matic Polygon, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I only mention those two because they gained popularity because they were a fork of Ethereum trying to mimic that ETH 2.0, or that proof of
Yeah.
stake, the delegated proof of stake. And Pulse Chain's doing that same exact thing, except it's doing it a little bit better. And then it's also having the largest airdrop in history. When you mention
Yes.
people are going to flock to it, and I mean, think about it. Right now, there's over 60,000. This was like a week ago. I looked at
Mm-hmm.
Pulse Chain Con. There was over 60,000 people that were there. And now, imagine how many people are going to be there or hear about this that didn't hear about it before once the
Mm-hmm.
mainnet launches. And the other thing that you mentioned too is like software is hard, right? Even with Hex, there's a meme of 4 more weeks because once again, it's hard with software, let alone crypto software in
Yeah.
blockchain development. And so Richard has mentioned that with Hex, he had kind of he'd kind of learned for the first time. Oh, okay, here's how it goes. But with Pulse Chain, sure, he sometimes mentions 2 more months and etc. But he's also mentioned like preliminary like checkoffs that need to be done. And so, for example, there's the go.hex.com that now works on testnet version 2. There's
Mm-hmm.
the Uniswap that works on testnet version 2. There's the bridge. There's a whole bunch of these, little checklists that
Right.
are, being finalized that, okay, now all of these are done. Okay, now we can, do the snapshot for the block height, the hard fork, and then have that chain launch.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy, and I can't even. It's all just in my head trying to like picture it happening, but
Yeah.
and I can kind of picture it, but it's gonna be what's the word, like euphoric almost,
Yeah, totally,
seeing it all
totally.
happen, and I mean, just right now you can see like there's already almost $1 billion just in this is just Ethereum coins, isn't it?
Yep, yep,
On the
yep.
Ethereum chain, yeah, already almost $1 billion. So, and what is it like on the other chains or on the other blockchains? It's probably over $1 billion, isn't it?
Probably, and it's crazy that this is kind of the thing, because you would think that people would be staying on top of it so much, but once
Mm-hmm.
again, I haven't really been following the other chains that much, but I know that um, a lot of people miss the sacrifice for Pulse Chain, and you don't want to be sacrificing for Pulse Chain, because even though they'd still be credited, the actual, and I did a video on this last night, but the rate of the bonding curve for PulseX yesterday was like 1.22. So it was like $1.28, something like that, for 10,000 points. But for Pulse Chain, it was like nearly 56 cents. It was like 5,600, was the multiplier against you. So a lot of people missed the first Pulse Chain, and now they're sacrificing for PulseX. And I think all of it, dude, is really exciting. And it's really something that, once again, is unprecedented. I mean, crypto has never seen someone like Richard that, talks the talk, walks the walk. And, he's a damn genius, but most geniuses like that are, high IQ and stuff, usually they're
Mm-hmm.
socially awkward. And Richard's not. He's got like the best of both worlds of, the entrepreneur, the intellect, and the extrovert.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. And not gonna lie, when I first got into it, let's say before we knew about Hex or anything, right? Just going along in life, right? And then so he introduced me to it, and then when I first started listening to Richard, I was like, I don't know if I like this guy. But the issue was
Totally.
in my opinion, he's dealt with so many dumb people
Hmm.
that he's like sick of it, and so just kind of just telling it how it is nowadays. And so the more that I listen, the more that I understand that he knows what he's talking about, even if like he cusses. Fuck it, who cares.
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
but the more I listen to him, the more I like him. And but yeah, 100% right about pretty much everything. So it's
True.
he says jump, man, I'm gonna jump. So
Well, and there's this isn't the first time that Richard has mentioned where, people that are usually successful or billionaires or, serial entrepreneurs can be eccentric and kind of, have these personalities that aren't just your average Joe, right? Like that's why
mhm,
they're a damn billionaire and not, working at McDonald's or, working like your average job type of deal.
right.
There's something that kind of makes them tick that's a little bit different. But as you mentioned, I mean, once again, people like I know Steve Jobs specifically. I don't follow all of it, but I know that he
Mhm.
used to have that kind of reputation as well, where arrogant, cocky, overconfident, etc. But guess what? He it was earned competence. It wasn't just arrogance of not having any previous success. It was being confident in what he was developing and what he had created, along with the team of people
Yeah,
that
not
kind
being
of
he's
given
not
him that.
ignorant. So
Totally true.
that's the whole thing. Because I was trying to get my dad. So my dad tried trading, man. Like he was in the stock market, like. But not gonna lie, man, I love him. He sucked at it. He got wrecked.
Totally, totally.
pretty much lost his whole retirement. It was
Sure,
awful.
sure, man.
And so
Totally.
and it's depressing. It's so depressing. It is makes you just want to like cry, honestly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah.
man.
And when I got into Hex, you get that the more you do research, the more you kind of change your worldview, the more you get behind it. You get this long-term mentality, and it doesn't matter about the daily chart. Like
Mm,
if it goes down like whatever percent in one day, okay, I'm not pulling out today. Like
right.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But he didn't have that mindset. I got him into Hex, and he said, "Oh shit, it's down, this much. Like, oh, we're losing money." I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
just give it a month, then look at the chart. All right, like just chill with the chart stuff. Look at the long-term log chart. We're fine, bro. We're fine, And so when I finally got him out of that habit, I got him into the mentality of looking long-term at it, and I got him to sacrifice for PulseX now.
Nice, man.
So yeah, so I sacrificed for Pulse and PulseX just a little bit, just like
Yeah, of course,
$400-600, But
nice, dude. That's that's
even if that's $1, man, because I mean, if Uniswap can go to $17, I think PulseX can go to $1.
Well, it and once again, like people think that a 10,000x seems like a fantasy and like a dream and like oh, it could never happen to them until it
Mhm.
freaking does, dude. Because
Yeah,
I tell you what, especially with some of the deflationary, with because Hex is inflationary and its maximum inflation is 3.69, but it's not that way because that would be if 100% of people were staking, right? So it's a little bit less than 3.69, and
mhm.
then it's delayed. But the point is that with Pulse Chain and PulseX being completely deflationary,
Yeah.
like that's just something that completely acts a lot different than anything else. And you also mentioned the trader mentality.
Mhm.
I've onboarded, pretty much all of my family, the girlfriend, a lot of her family, right? But
Yeah.
with my dad, same thing where um, him and I were kind of investing in 2017 in some cryptos, and I'll be honest, we both got wrecked, right?
Yeah.
Long story short, with Hex, when I had started seeing some success and some gains, and I finally felt like, oh, okay, this is actually the right decision. After all those mistakes, this is the one. I
Yeah.
had boosted up his count a little bit more, and long story short, the other day we go to end one of his stakes for his birthday, and now he's like, well, what should I do? And obviously, I never give any recommendation or things like that, but I just say, hey, here's the power of what you have. So we took his principle, and I just said, we haven't done the stakes yet, but I just said, hey, if you lock for 1 year, this amount of shares that it's showing currently, let's just say it was one. Well, guess what? Now it's showing 1.2 because you're getting 20% more shares for every year that
Mhm.
you lock. And so his mind, once again, it's so individualistic for everyone, for
Yeah.
like their learning curve, how they learn about it. But his mind kind of clicked where he's like, oh, so what if I do a 5, a 7, and a 10 year? Because I was showing him, hey, if you do 3,641 days, which is about 10 years, then you'll get 3 times what you would have had if you had just staked for a day or a month per se.
Right.
So now he had gotten it, but it really gets people out of that like trader paradigm and mentality,
Mhm.
because otherwise it wouldn't be different than any other coin like Bitcoin or anything like that. But it
Yeah.
incentivizes you to be, a good member of the network.
Yeah, for sure, man. Do you have a favorite Richard Hart debate that he has done?
That's a damn good question because I know some people would be like, oh, some people might say like Peter McCormick and stuff like this, but it's like that wasn't really a debate. That was just getting slandered the whole time and then kind of going back. I would say that this was before Hex, but it goes to show you Richard's knowledge on just
Mhm.
the aspects of crypto. And was Roger Ver or Roger Ver. He had him on a long time ago, and Richard said that, hey, I'd made calls about Bitcoin Cash at the time that hey, you should sell it, and so he had a really good intellectual debate, I would say, with Roger Ver there. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else specifically. Richard really is good at debate and things like that. And a lot of people, they actually hear about him from following their favorite influencer. And then Richard comes on, and same thing that you mentioned. Oh, who's this cocky son of a bee? And then you
Yeah.
realize, like, oh, this guy's actually speaking truth and speaking, truth to power and knowledge that my favorite influencer isn't doing.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I've seen a lot of them. I haven't seen a ton of them, but
Mhm.
somebody, I was watching one and somebody said, I saw the one with like the hedge fund manager or whatever,
Oh,
and
yeah,
his,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
yeah, I think was that on like Happy Hour or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, yep, yep. Cabana Crypto. Yep, it was one
Yeah,
of his friends.
yeah.
Yeah, a little hedge fund
Dude,
manager.
that was hilarious. He's like, "You're in your Toyota, I'm in my freaking castle."
That's true, dude.
It was
There's so
so
many
funny.
great there's so many great moments that Richard expels and that he creates. And I agree, man. Actually, today And in 1 hour and 5 minutes, so Hex Cadet, he's actually someone that I met in Vegas too, which was awesome. But
Hmm.
he's the creator of the Hex 2020 Rewind. And so for people that aren't familiar with Hex or kind of how the community and things like this first got started, Hex 2020 Rewind, if you just type that in on YouTube, it's a really good refresher. You know, it goes over the price chart, it goes over Peter McCormick. The first day that Hex was launched, December 2nd, Tone Vays and 3 lawyers were debating him and arguing with him. It shows all of that. And then once again, in an hour and about 4 minutes from now, he's going to have the 2021 premiere play. So none of us have seen
Ah,
that yet. And so I'm really looking forward to that because
and whose channel is
uh,
this? I'll have to look at it.
it's Hex Cadet. I can
Hex Cadet.
I'll
Oh,
find a
okay.
yeah, I'll find a
I'll
link and
definitely have to watch that, man. That sounds really interesting. Hex Cadet.
yeah.
He
Well,
actually
yeah,
sounds familiar.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
true. Yeah. I'll send it to you here. Actually, I can post it in the
Yeah. Go
yeah, let me
ahead.
post it in the chat here. Let's see if this goes through. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so yeah, that's the URL for it. Once again, Hex Cadet. And same thing on his same channel. He's got the 2020 Rewind. I think it's an absolute amazing resource for people to go back that maybe came in halfway of the year or don't know who all of these people are. He kind of does a good job of telling a little bit about their story.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome, man. So you have a sci-vibe self-help channel, I see.
Mm.
So tell me, for the people listening, what is sci-vibe and why did you make this channel?
Sure. So, I mean, sci-vibe is like one of the words that Richard's created, like surviving through science type of deal and through senolytics and through, solving aging as like a disease versus solving, cancer and heart disease. Because if you even solve both of those, the average that someone would live is like 3 years longer. And, or maybe it's either 3 or 4 years longer
It
as
was three
opposed
and
to
three,
people.
average 7, he said, for some
Oh,
reason,
okay,
but
okay, cool. Thank you. That's
yeah.
what it was. I was thinking, I guess, of them individually, but anyway, so Richard has, before he created, or sorry, before he was in Bitcoin, before he created, Bitcoin Hex, which is now Hex, he had this book that was something that was like, I guess, unpublished and, it was kind of pre-edited.
Yeah.
And what he had mentioned, and I didn't know about this until I don't know, maybe half a year ago, but he had mentioned when he was traveling all around the world, he would have his phone and he was just doing audio messages of what he wanted for himself. Like he was making a compilation for himself of all of the good news and exciting stuff that he had heard about. And then that had been transcripted into text. So that's kind of the first layout of what Sci-Fi was. And anyways, the point is that it's pretty much kind of like a whole instructive a manual or like a self-help book where if people are wondering about their psychology, right, their mental physical health, or how to be better at relationships, right, whether it's your family or whether it's with significant others, he kind of covers the whole gambit. And once again, I did a video with Crypto Kindness the other day, and a lot
Hmm.
of this information, some of it, I mean, most of it's kind of just recycled, right? Where people that have self-help books, it's kind of like the same thing, but maybe in a different form or different factor. And I made the channel because I've always been interested in, self-help. And back in the day when I would follow it, they were always talking about multiple streams of income and getting passive income. And so I'm so happy that I found, the best product in the world for that and
Yeah.
for performance, which is Hex. But anyways, I like to make these videos because, and I don't know if you experience this too, but they're almost like more gratifying for me and almost like, more for me selfishly than it is for the people that I'm helping or that, might be listening to it. I feel like a certain satisfaction out of doing it because, you're doing something productive and you're trying to educate people. So part of it is to, try and, I mean, no one's perfect, right? No one lives a perfect life, but part of it are things that I've struggled with and that I
Hmm.
want to improve, or that I have struggled with and have kind of gotten past, that I think that other people might be able to relate to. I mean, there's this thing that Maddie Allen talks about when you make it, whether it's winning the lottery or whether it's having a 10,000x in under 2 years. is that like sudden wealth syndrome. And once again,
Oh
most
my,
people,
yeah.
I thought the same thing. Oh, I just have $1,000 in Hex. Like, this is just, as much of all of the crypto before, and now it's compiled into Hex. That would never go to millions and stuff. And then
Right.
you see the price performance, and now you're like, oh, okay, like I guess this. I mean, a lot of it's on paper, right? But if you start to realize some of it, it's like, okay, this thing is life changing, and something that can come with that are, whether you're rich or poor or just making it by, everyone's got
Mm.
problems. But when you have the greater wealth, they're different kinds of problems. So Richard talks a lot about in sci-fi of, just things that he's dealt with personally and things that he's overcome. And I just try and make a little documentation of some of my stuff.
That's awesome, bro. That's really cool, actually, because not a lot of people would do that and like put themselves out there and try to help others. Because I know a lot of people who are really selfish, man.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy, and it almost makes you feel good on the inside. Like literally, you can like feel it. Whenever.
Totally.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I actually already have both. Okay, I have your regular YouTube, I have your Survive YouTube channel, and I have your Twitter linked in the description right now. So there is that, dude. But yeah, man, I am so hyped to meet people. Like even though I've been a part of this community for so long, like I put hundreds. I'm serious when I'm not lying. Hundreds and hundreds of hours into learning
Yeah,
about Hex, watching Richard fucking, watching all this stuff.
totally,
Like
man.
you know, Motley,
Yeah,
Cabana. I could just sit here and name people for days, But
totally.
meeting people, it's going to be a surreal experience because I don't really get out and do stuff like this, so it's
Me
going to
too,
be
man. Yeah.
crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
That's really it. That's really all that I had in question wise for now. Is there anything else that you wanted to add on or anything?
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, once again, and I didn't realize that until you had told me when we were in the green room, but you'd mentioned this is kind of, your first video with another, community member. and
Yeah.
and that's kind of how the experience is with Vegas, where once again, like, it's just awesome, man, because I've experienced a lot of communities that, and I don't know, people have got their own little communities of choice and stuff, and they all got pros and cons. But
Mm-hmm.
with this community, I've never met a more group of genuine, honest people that have integrity, that have dignity, and just want to help out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you look at someone like Richard Hart, you'd mentioned that, a lot of what you're doing, what I'm doing, what everyone else is doing, is for free and is trying to get back. And I think it just comes from the leader, right? From someone who is Richard, that, is arguably a billionaire, that doesn't have to do any of this, but he's doing it because he wants to help his fellow man, because of the same selfish thing that you mentioned. Hey, you feel good when you're trying to lift other people up and help them succeed, because
Yeah.
the quickest way, they say, like one of those sayings, like the quickest way to achieve what you want is to help other people achieve what they want and what they need. And so I just see the community that has followed in Richard's footsteps, that are, evolving, and that have different, skills and sets of information and friends that, maybe other people don't have. And it's almost like a big synergy. Like when you go to the Vegas, and I'll be going there too in less than 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
it almost feels like a big family, and once
Yeah.
again, a lot of these people in the chat, I mean, Completion Fails, Andreas Falk, Marcavelli, and I think that was it as far as the chat goes. Sometimes I mean, for me at least, I would see same thing, a handful of people watching when I first started. And then you really have to realize, like, that's not just characters on a screen. Those are
Real
people that
people.
are
Yeah,
spending their
dude.
time. And so it was really surreal when, I mean, with Vegas last year, and once again, it'll be the same this year, where it's like, oh, these people that have watched your videos or been a part of the community as well, you get to meet in person, and it's awesome, man. Like, community
Yeah.
can really, if someone is like lonely and depressed and sad, and like they don't have like a community and stuff that can kind of support them and help them, I think that something like a community, and something as strong as the Hex community and what Richard Hart's doing, can really lift a lot of people up. I mean, people
Mm-hmm.
like Joe Hexotic were damn near suicidal, like a couple of weeks before hearing about Hex from one of his friends, Hex Live. And so there's
Mm-hmm.
just so many stories that you hear of, lives being changed, not only financially, but with their physical health, because they had they had wanted to live for their stakes to end, or they had read some of the stuff in sci-fi that had helped them, that I think is really doing the world a better place. So for people like
Yeah.
yourself that are coming on board and participating too, and I think that's awesome because once again, we can all learn from people like yourself or whoever else that's coming on board right now. Everyone's got their own perspective, and we all kind of learn a different way. So shout out to you for keeping up with this. It'll eventually kind of hit that point where, okay, now more people, as you're consistently streaming and kind of have a little schedule or regimen, people are consistently coming back, and you
Right.
notice repeat faces, and then it just gets bigger and bigger before you know it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Like, just like you said, man, these aren't just names on a screen. Like, these are actual people tuning in. I don't care if it's like 1, 2, or 3. Like, I'm still talking to people, and especially on the replays, these are getting out to other people. And like you were talking about, mental health, like suicidal and stuff, man, that's a big deal. Mental
Yeah,
health,
it
it
really
can
is.
take a toll on mental health. Can take a toll on your physical health. It can take a toll on people around you.
So
And
true.
you just want to have a good support system. You want to have a good community, and Hex will definitely do that for you. 100%. And dude, when I'm in like since I said you're the first person I talk to, so I'm always in chat, and I'm like a little fanboy, dude, like behind a keyboard, like talking and like Maddie, bro, pull up my comment in chat and notice me.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So sometimes I'll have to super chat to get them to notice me.
Right,
$2.
right, right. Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
true.
but it's awesome,
No, it's
man,
true.
and I feel like it's all gonna be organic too. I feel like
Oh yeah.
everybody's gonna welcome each other, and it's gonna be a great experience. Even though I don't know, I'm pretty sure I know, and I feel like that's how it's gonna be. So yeah,
Oh
man,
yeah.
I cannot wait.
Totally. It's true. And once again, it's awesome that the people that even have retired or have been early, OGs, quote unquote, that have done successfully with Hex,
Yeah,
they're not stopping either. I mean, that was one of the coolest things that I saw in Hex was that, once again, just like with Richard, right? He didn't have to ever show his face or come out from his what do they call it?
Satoshi.
The fake username, right, from their anonymous name beforehand. But the point is that Richard did take that step, and now we see a lot of the people, like you mentioned, Matty Allin, A-Bit Hex, Patrick Hex Lion, Crypto Sparbu. These are people that have already been successful with Hex, and guess what? They're still here. They still believe in it, and we're really
Mhm.
just trying to educate people. I mean, think about how great this can be when all of us have some serious mad gains,
Yeah.
and the actual snowball effect keeps just rolling downhill and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. It's been great having you on. Where can people find you if they want to learn more and stay in your community and
Totally.
stuff?
Totally. Yep. Just allmylinks.com/Ballietbran, as it's in the title. And the very last thing I'll say, because I promise this is the last thing, is that everyone in the community, like, let's do a good job and let's keep leading by example by retweeting everyone. If someone
Yeah.
is new to streaming, if someone is just getting started, play it in the back. Like, even if you're not going to be able to watch it or listen to it, play it in the background and give them that extra view, or give them a retweet to your Twitter, to your friends, because once again, it really gives them like a boost of confidence, and like
Yeah.
kind of a reason for doing it, and it just makes our community that much bigger. So that's all I
Right,
have.
totally. And I'm not rushing you at all. I could sit here all night if I want to, but I'm just trying to be courteous to your time, and I didn't really have any other topics. So
Totally.
yeah, I mean, like I said, we could do this all night, but other than that, man, let's see. I guess that's really it. And go give him a subscribe. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, his sci-fi channel, follow him on Twitter and all this kind of stuff. And then one day, man, I'm gonna have to come on your channel, bro.
I was gonna say, dude, what I usually do with these kinds of collaborations is, maybe if it's cool with you, and like a couple of, so I mean, I've already kind of retweeted on Telegram and on Twitter across the few accounts this video, but then maybe in, like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days, I can just download the video from just a YouTube to MP4, and
Hmm.
then what I usually do is, like, just like I do on like the clips or anything, it's the first link in the description where it's like, okay, go follow Hexelement, go subscribe to him here, and then that way it's kind of like a little bit of a cross promotion.
Yeah.
That's actually what kind of started me to do this in the first place, was that funding gym, he saw that a lot of my videos were on Hex and, kind of passionate. And then he's like, well, the greatest thing in marketing and advertising is cross promotion and is recommending to your friends and vice versa. And so I didn't really know what to do there because it's like, well, all I really know is Hex. Like, I don't really know what else I'm good at. But then the conversations with people has just been like a real eye opener and something that I like. I mean, it's nice to hear a little bit about someone's background versus just what they can regurgitate, right, from their memory bank and their information. So people like Crypto Heartbeat, I know, does a good job at this, and I've been trying to do some interviews as well. But it's a special community that we have here, and it really is so early on. So
early
with your father and things like this, like that's the thing that I long for. Is, I mean, I've had success in a lot of the people that I know, but so has my family. But I can't wait till they have that, never work again money as well when we have our next 100,000x.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, not entirely, but the whole goal really is, becoming financially free. How are we going to do that? Because we don't want to sit here and work a 9 to 5 for somebody for the rest of our life, because it's miserable, man, for most people. If you love your job, you love your job. Totally, but most people don't. Most people want to become financially free, and they're always looking for a way to do that. But I'm telling you, 99% of people don't make it, dude. They get scammed. They lose all their money from trading, and also all this other kind of stuff, So the more so the more information that's out there about Hex, true information, credible sources, all that kind of stuff, it is great. It's great, and and the fact that Richard Hart really doesn't lose debates also gives people confidence that to invest really as well. So everything's good, man. I'm so hyped to be a part of the community. I'm so hyped. Oh yeah, by the way, for sure, I don't care. Yeah, take this video, post it wherever. I don't. Cool. Do whatever you want.
I'll do it in a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. But man, like I'm telling you, I'm such a fanboy. When I get there, bro, it's gonna be just hype for like the whole time, man. Like I've never been more excited for something in my life. I'm telling you, because like ever since I've gotten in this community, bro, I've never been, even though on my YouTube channel is only like goes back a couple months, I've never been this active or posted this many videos or been in the mindset that I'm in right now. So it's crazy. I got my plane ticket. I got everything booked. We're going. We're having a good time. If you can't make it, it's no big deal. But just everybody keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna get it. PulseChain launch. It's gonna be the great thing. Go subscribe to him. But I mean, other than that, man, I guess we're wrapping it up. This is awesome, though. This is awesome.
Yeah. That's the very last thing is like you mentioned, get involved and engage with the community, because someone like Whales Only, I think Gerardo was similar too, where they had just made their first video. And once again, these are people that were just like Richard, right?
Yeah.
Where, they're kind of in the backgrounds before and kind of just observing and lurking before, but then they said, hey, I've got a skill set that I can provide value here. And instead of me just having the value for myself or the thing that I'm good at, let me broadcast it for everyone else. So I know Whales Only did his first stream, and I heard about it through someone else. And I said, like, I saw his first video, and it's like, dude, like, we got to do something together, or, teach me what you know. And so anyways, it's cool that, like you mentioned, you don't have to be doing this. You don't have to be spending your precious time making these videos, but it's almost like, not that you're compelled to, but that you want to. And it feels good to have engagement with the community, and we really do lift each other up. So we're all succeeding together. I mean, they say, as far as like your sphere of influence, if you've got a positive influence of people versus a group that's negative, that's always down and oppressing, well,
then you'll be negative and down and oppressed.
Exactly. And so, you're on a successful team, successful community. So is everyone else that's watching. And, let's keep surrounding ourselves with success, with positivity, with knowledge, and keep growing together. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so 100.
Much. Yeah, no problem. And like I said, dude, we're gonna have to do this again pretty soon, because this is fun.
Totally. Dude,
and I loved it. And it's great too, because it gives me someone to bounce ideas off, and it's fun for people to watch, I think,
Totally.
So instead of just me sitting here talking to a screen, Not saying I don't talk to chat or anything, but I'm saying when I'm on a topic or something, you know, it's hard to get other ideas. So it's awesome having conversations and cross promotion and all that kind of stuff, like you said. But yeah, man, guys, go follow him, give him, you know, all the support. You know, everybody on here probably came from yours. You already follow him anyway. But anybody in the replays or anything, or anybody that doesn't know about anything yet about Hexwise, go watch the videos on my channel. Go watch the videos on his channel. Follow Richard Hart. All the stuff is in the description. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later, guys. Peace out.